Hello, shooters, loaders, and casters. Welcome to the Georgia Shooting Connection Friday Night Live stream. While that was playing, we had 23 comments. Today is 223 day. Congratulations to all you got those deals today. Let's go through the room. Hope y'all had a good week. See how your week was going. How you doing, CW? You have a good week?
I did have a pretty good week. I was tinkering around the other day, and I built a new 223 upper. And I took it to the range today, and I shot some pretty small groups with it. So I'm pretty excited. We'll talk about that maybe a little bit more, and a couple of upcoming videos all about it. Hillbilly, how was your week?
Kind of tiring. I cleared some brush and raked leaves and this and that, so they have a nice little walking path. I put up a backstop now at 50 yards, which I didn't have before right here at my range here. And so I've been working on that a lot this week. And today I was out there this afternoon late. I was out there sighting in a rifle. And so walking down and back, that works on a feller, especially if you did it several times. But good week, man. We've had great weather. I mean, I'm all excited. Always happy to start my Friday night, my weekend out right here with Georgia Shooting Connection. Appreciate you all for having me. So, Hot Pot, what you been doing, buddy? How's your week gone?
Been going pretty good. You know what you need, Hillbilly? You need one of those little electric all-terrain unicycles. That way you can get out there, man. I want you to video you riding that thing.
Yeah. You betcha, man.
I've had a good week. I went to the range. I took my new open gun out, did some chronoing. Got the numbers I wanted. Loaded up 40 more rounds and went to the range tonight after work and shot those off. And that thing is the smooth, fire-breathing dragon. Man, I love it. 10 millimeter open gun. Woo!
Nice.
I got to be different. Can't be like everybody else. But I'm just happy to be here, ready to have a good show. We got some good topics going to be coming up tonight. So, how about you, Dr. Zink?
Well, kind of a busy week at work. Always is. We're real busy right now. So, stress level's high. Other than that, it was a good week. I've been playing with my Smith & Wesson Model 36. Finally got the right grip for it. And the extractor, I got that in the mail today. So I was playing with that this afternoon when I got home from work and discovered all kinds of stupid things with that gun that the original owner was purchased. Pretty sure it's 58. Okay. Could be 59, but they don't have a serial number range for those 2 years. So I don't know for sure. Because it was in 60, I think they started labeling it with the J, or 61. I don't have a J in mind. Anyway, what a nightmare. The extractor that was in this thing, again, I got this from a cop, okay, back in 78 or 79 for $50. And it's not beat up, but it had plenty of holster wear on the top strap and some of the sides of the cylinders. And when I was taking it apart the first time weeks ago, and I'm like with the measuring the extractor, the length I'm getting on it was tremendously long, in my opinion. It took a ton of turning to get it out, unscrewing it. And I forget the name of the company. I gotta figure it out. I forgot who it was. I found a place out west, given to me by, was it a what's that gun works that sells the used parts all the time. Anyway, he gave me their name and I checked it out. Huh?
Numric?
Yeah, Numeric, whatever. He gave me the name of this place, okay, because he didn't have anything that measured what I was measuring. So when I got to these people, they're actually a small gunsmith store out. They said California, but they're shipped from California, so I don't know. And they said that's way too big. Okay, I says, okay, well, I don't know enough about the gun. I bought it used, and this is how I got it. But I bought it, explain the story to her. So he says, well, if it's not the right one, you can send it back. There's no problem. I said, okay. So $28 for an original OEM product. So I got it in today, pulled the old one out, and it only took like 4 turns and it was in. So what has happened, because there were other issues with the extractor itself and that center pin that goes through everything. I don't know what that's called. The pin that locks it in place when the gun closes and things like that. Anyway, I can't get the extractor out of the gun, the ejector. It won't come out of the cylinder. It's got to be peened or something on the end that it won't pull out. So I put the new one in. It's much shorter. Instead of mine was 1.284, and this was like 1.163. And it only took like 4 turns, and it was done. So this other one, this guy had whoever did the work for him, if it wasn't him himself, because I had a hell of a time getting this thing off out of the gun the first time. It was so tight, it was ridiculous. It was force threaded on the original one, making more threads, whether it was inside the extractor itself or on the piece that screws onto the inside. And anyway, so I put it together. So that's it. I closed the gun. Yeah, it's closing fine. It's okay. I went a little extra, just a little tighter. Closed it up, worked fine. And I said, great. And I got a can of cold blue. So I played with that on the back strap of the gun, which was kind of rusty, which I already cleaned. And it worked out beautiful. Okay, I couldn't believe how easy and quick it went. But it's hidden under the grip anyway. It's a Packmeyer grip. So just one word of advice to people that have grips that cover the actual firearm itself, covers the back strap, front strap, whether it be Packmeyer or wood, whatever. Make sure you take those things off every now and then, and make sure you oil that area up, because that's where your dampness is going to sit. It will rust. And that's what I got. Okay.
Thanks for being here, Andy. It's Walter's turn. How's your week, Walter?
Oh, I had a lot of stress at my job too. Oh, wait, never mind. I don't have a job. Forget that. I had a good week. Mostly getting over this cold thing. Went to the medic and she gave me some stuff and said, you'll be fine. You ain't going to die. Anyway, I did get to the range this week too. And just yesterday, in fact, and shot some 38 Super and some 44 Mag and some 44 Special. Had a good time, shot some good stuff, and that was good. The range master that picks up lead for me gave me a little can of lead that she'd harvested, and the other range master got all PO'd at me for tearing up the berm with my 44 Mag loads. So I'm going to hand you a shovel if you do that again. You stack that berm back up. But yeah, I'm happy to be here. It's good to see all you folks over there in the side chat. It's always good to come here on Friday night and hang out with you guys. It's something that I look forward to all week long for sure. So I'm just happy to be here. So let's see. Let's jump down to Pat right there, his own self in the bunker.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, what did I do this week? Been pretty dang busy. Trying to keep up with everything around here, getting pretty hot and heavy in with the calving season. Got a lot of babies hitting the ground, so got to keep a pretty close eye on the mamas and everything. Did a couple little things around the bunker, getting ready to put in a new building, and actually, quite by accident, while checking a bunch of mamas today, I actually got to harvest me a kitty cat today with a 223. So, so it was the perfect timing and the perfect place and everything. So yeah, I was really happy, and I was glad my rifle was still on target. So, so yeah, I've had a pretty good day. It's been a long day, but it's very productive, and glad I got to do some shooting today on top of that. So I'm ecstatic. So anyway, that's what I've got today. So what's up, Mark?
Not too much. It has been a long, short week. We had Monday off, and that was okay. Nice 3-day weekend. But back to school on Tuesday, and then Wednesday, my department, the social studies department, we took about 200 kids on a field trip down to Washington D.C. to the Holocaust Museum, and that's a stressful day. We left at 7 o'clock in the morning. We didn't get back till almost 9 o'clock that night. It was a good trip. The kids learned a lot, but that whooped me. So Thursday and Friday, back in for regular. That was my regular job, and I'm just glad the week's over. I'm glad it's Friday night. I'm glad to be here. I was able to post 2 videos this afternoon, holster that I made for a fella and another knife sheath. So I've been getting a little bit of leather work done, hoping to get a little bit more this weekend, but it's going to be a busy weekend again too. So just looking forward to hanging out with everybody tonight. Been trying to keep an eye on the side chat. It is just flying by. Hi, everybody out there. So great to be here. Thanks for having me. Let's get things rolling.
Welcome, everybody. Thanks for being here. All you guys on the panel, all you guys in the side chat. So I sent out Domino's cards yesterday. So you guys that won Domino's Slice the Price cards, I hope you can use them. Between me and Tread, we sent out 6 cards this week, and sent out a couple more packages as well to DSCZ52, and Michael Dunn should be getting a package on Monday. So there we go. First topic for tonight, and we'll have to split it up because we try to shout out the side chat at about 8:30. There's Edward Petty, and I'm going to need his mailing address soon. Edward, if you get a chance to email me, I'd appreciate it, buddy. Tread says his went out on Tuesday. And I bet Scotsman has Edward's mailing address. There's 6-shooter Texan. First topic tonight, we want to talk about handgun shooting accuracy. Something I'm struggling with, and I was hoping you guys have some tricks of the trade to help me do better. And I don't know if any of y'all have seen my last 2 videos about the ones with the Beretta APX A1 and the others with the CZ75BD. I noticed some things I was doing in those 2 videos that I need to work on correcting. I think will make my shooting a little more accurate. But the best thing about filming yourself is you get to see those kind of things and make those adjustments. But another thing, I think input from guys like you that shoot, and I was hoping Chris would be here because he's a competitive shooter too, like Gene is, and CW. I think we can help each other in that. He's Chris from the 740 starter went out in his work truck. A man with his work truck is pretty much on the sidelines, not making no money. So he's putting a starter in tonight. So maybe he'll be in later, maybe not. Just if you get a chance, tell him we missed him. And all you guys, I'm showing 70. Thank you all for being here. Hillbilly, thank you for spreading the word and the stream on your channels. And
Yeah,
man,
buddy.
I still can't find you. I found you on X, I think, but they won't. Look, let me tell y'all something, and then we'll get to the topic. But the interweb, the World Wide Web, has been screwy this week. I don't know if y'all know it or if y'all had experiences, but I was sitting at my computer working yesterday, and the thing just went off mid-stroke and came back on. I don't know if we had a power surge. I don't know if it was just my computer or if it. I don't know. I know that yesterday or today, I think it was today. AT&T, all their cell phones were dead in the water
Yesterday.
yesterday.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah, it stinks living out in the country and then your cell phone don't have no service, none whatsoever. And thank goodness we had internet. But yeah, I was thinking I was fixing to jump on the CB radio or something if I needed to. So.
I
There's
miss
Ricky.
those days. Back in the 70s, that was a big deal, man. That was a big
Oh, yeah.
deal.
Yeah, we don't have much AT&T around here. Everybody I know's got T-Mobile, Sprint, T-Mobile, same thing. Verizon. Everybody's got Verizon. All they do is complain. No signal.
Well, I seen later on because being having internet, I was able to look it up. And first they said it was AT&T, but then they said other carriers were having trouble too. So they didn't know exactly what was causing it. Something about maybe some updates or something. So,
Well, they
yeah,
said
I think
they said the other carriers are having problems because if you were on a different carrier than AT&T, you couldn't contact anybody on AT&T.
Yeah,
but I've got T-Mobile and I never lost service at all.
Vandenberg Space Force Base sent up a big missile yesterday. They probably knocked out a couple satellites or something on the way up.
Yeah, they're not going to tell us the truth. So
Yeah, it was probably a Chinese hack anyway. So
was
There
there
was
another
also
balloon
the,
flyover?
Yeah, that was it.
it could have been.
There was also a significant solar flare impulse from either yesterday or the day before that they had some issues with. So all the Chicken Littles were out there screaming, the sky is falling, and the United States is one, computer glitch away from falling into oblivion. People were panicking. Just damn media getting everybody fired up for no reason.
yep.
Yep. Well, if I want worldwide news, I'll just jump on my ham, and I'll see what's going on about halfway across the world. So
I got hungry and ate my ham. So.
yeah.
So, Daniel, what does CME mean? I know I'm going to be sorry for asking that, especially to Daniel, right?
You got to be careful when a
Coronal
farm boy says, "I'm going to
mass-
go jump on my ham." And
Well,
That's
not
the
that
technical term for that solar flare stuff.
coronal mass ejection.
CME.
Yep.
It
Far
gives
out.
a similar result. People are worried about the EMP stuff knocking out all their computer stuff and chips and cars. That solar flare stuff, the CME does the same thing.
Yep. Yep. One's man-made and the other one's by the sun.
Yeah, Chessboard's right that it wouldn't discriminate between carriers.
So
depends on. Oh, go ahead, Jamie.
I was just going to get ready to get to the topic. One thing I noticed when I was looking at editing my videos, dang, Rebel, I'm trying to be serious here. All right. When I was shooting, I noticed that every time the gun went off, my finger was coming way off the trigger. And that I know is the least of my problems shooting handguns, but I want to try to work on feeling that reset.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if that thing comes all the way up off the trigger like that, you got to be going through some changes and getting everything lined back up.
Yeah, I agree with you. You know, having some video to go home and look at, and I've caught myself in the past of wanting to do this. You know, like I need to readjust my grip when I don't. It's just kind of a not a nervous twitch, but kind of telling myself for some odd reason that I should tighten my grip or loosen my grip, and I find myself wiggling my fingers around instead of just getting out there and holding on target and shooting. I'm not so bad about loosening up my trigger finger, but I am about the rest of my fingers. And every time you do that, you tend to, at least I do, tend to bring my target down a little bit. My sight picture comes down a little bit, and it may not go back up to the same place.
Yeah, all the classes I've taken with USPSA and IDPA in my club, they've always taught a 70-30 grip, 30% trigger finger hand, 70% support hand, and that way your trigger finger does stay more relaxed, and you can work it better. Number one thing, Jamie, dry fire, man, dry fire. Get to know that trigger, feel it.
That's two things I don't do. I don't hold my gun sideways like that, and I don't dry fire. So
Dry fire is key to getting to know your trigger, your grip. Someone made a comment out there to put a guitar pick or a quarter or a coin on the end of your slide. And when you can pull that trigger and that doesn't move, now you're starting to get to know the feeling of that trigger.
and I used to do that with my revolvers, but I hadn't done it in years. And man, I think that'd really help.
I can shoot a revolver way better than I can a semi-automatic pistol. Just they feel different. I mean, I don't know why, but definitely a big difference as far as accuracy.
Generally
I'll go
speaking,
with one
you know,
better than
although revolvers tend to be a little more accurate because there's less moving parts, you know, in the barrel and the slide and the sights and everything. But they're harder to shoot because of the action. There's a lot more movement in that hammer. There's a lot slower timing. So they're equally difficult to get the hang of, and they're especially difficult when you're first starting out. It's a pretty big deal. If you've recently taken your pistol class, or you remember what was in your pistol class, you still have your books, those basics can help you immensely. It's really hard to help anybody from this situation because you're going to get all these answers and you may not be doing any of those things wrong because none of us have watched you shoot. And something that you mentioned early on, Jamie, which was a video and watching yourself is really good as long as you know what is right and wrong. Then you can critique yourself because you're not going to realize you're doing something wrong until you watch yourself doing it wrong. But you need to know what's right to be able to see that. So it's best to, if you're having problems and you feel you need help, your best bet is to get training, even just somebody who's in the know at the range to spend 5 minutes with you will probably help you way more than just blindly suggestions, but what I'll tell you for suggestions is watch those fundamentals. You know, your stance, your trigger squeeze, your sight alignment, your breathing, your follow through. You know, those are the fundamentals. And that's what you need to do to shoot well.
I think it's safe to say, I think it's a universal thing. When I'm shooting my rifle, even at 100 yards or whatever distance, I take my time and pay attention to those fundamentals. With a and, and I don't think I do that with a handgun. I think a lot of us are like that and respect that. Well, I say that, but I only say that because I don't want to be the only one that's just spraying and praying with a handgun kind of thing. That makes
You're not, bro. um, I don't know. I mean, you guys out there and on the panel know way more than me. But what I have figured out for me personally, when I'm shooting a rifle, and I have my trigger finger right here, that is more of a comfortable straight pull back than I do when it's out here. Because when it's out here, I always pull to the side. And I think just the body function, it's easier when it more comfortable in here with a rifle than it is out here with a pistol. And the way I've worked on that, either a projected laser dot or even if I don't have a projected laser dot, I can throw on the pistol if it don't have the Picatinny rail at the bottom. I just stick my my bore sight in the end of it and dry fire. It's about 40 feet down my hallway, and I have a chair in there. And you want to see if you hold that gun straight when you pull the trigger, you put a projected laser out there. One little bit of a movement or pull to one side, you will see that laser move on the dry fire. I mean, it's honestly, it's helped me out a lot. I'm still not a great pistol shot with a semi-automatic, but it's made a lot of help. It's helped me out a lot.
There's
Trying
some
to
really
make sure
good
I get pulled straight back towards me and not off to the side.
there's some really good laser aids for shooting in your family room, your den, whatever. There's no firing involved. It's a bullet casing that is a laser, and when you pull the trigger, the hammer hits the back and it shoots a laser out, and it's a target that records where you hit, and it can tell you a lot of information, some of these, and really help you out a lot. But like Gene said, just dry firing can help you out immensely. You shoot the bad guys on the commercial, shoot the people you don't like on the commercial. In a commercial, you're watching a movie or something, and you're alone in the house and everything's safe, of course, but cowboy movie, you shoot the bad guys with your pistol watching a cowboy movie, but with
Shoot the light switch.
whatever.
With the projected laser, you will see that movement.
You'll see it. You'll see the
you
movement.
honestly will.
Yeah.
It's all trigger time. And another something that you can do today that's pretty easy is there's a whole bunch of these airsoft guns that are virtually identical to your pistol. So you could buy an airsoft gun that's the same make and model as your pistol, and you can shoot in the backyard, in your living room, in your basement, whatever, and get some trigger time that way as well.
Yeah. I know what my biggest problem is most of the time. And I can tell when I've skipped a month. Usually I always take my concealed carry gun, and I always try to run between 3 to 4 magazines through it every single month just to make sure that I'm on with that gun. Now, I'm guilty of this. There's been a month where I've skipped because I've been too busy, not enough trigger time behind that. And then I get back up on that 2 months later, and I can tell I'm rusty. And it's just practice. I mean, it's a perishable skill. I mean, at least I'm that way. I shoot rifles enough, between hunting and coyotes, but I'm always lacking on the pistol side of it, just because that's not my go-to gun. that's always riding in the pickup with me, keeping coyotes away, you know, for whatever reason. I've always got a rifle with me. So that one's always easier. I'm always up on that one. But man, those pistols, I can always tell if I've skipped a month and I haven't practiced with my concealed carry at least once a month, I can tell. I'm just too rusty. And it's my own dang fault, just not setting aside the time to go out there and go practice at least once a month, putting three to four magazines in. And my concealed carry, it holds 13. So that's 36 rounds if I do 3 mags on it. So, but if I do that consistently every month, when I pick that back up and I go to shoot again, I can tell when I haven't skipped a month and when I have. So,
yeah, you're right. That is a perishable skill. It's kind of like in my world of shooting, I do so much competitive shooting. I'm not that good at it. Okay, I'm average. I carry a high C, low B ranking. Not as young as I once was, so I just don't move as fast as I used to. But you've got the common guys that come in that never dry fire practice, never do anything. They only come to the events, and that's all they do is shoot them. And then you got the guys like me that I dry fire 2 to 3 times a week, and I go down my basement, I get my gun out. I'll sit watching TV, make sure it's unloaded, and like CW said, shoot the guys on the commercials, shoot the light switch on the wall. And then you got the super, A-rated and Grandmaster guys who spend no less than 30 minutes a day dry firing every day. They've always got that, always doing mag changes, always dry firing to become more familiar and faster and faster and faster. So it just depends on, where do you want to be?
Jamie,
I hear you.
Jamie, you find yourself streaming up and down on your target or left and right?
Me?
Yeah.
Mostly low.
Low. Well, that's sight picture then.
Or recoil anticipation.
Yeah, that too. He's pushing it.
Yeah. I mean, Yoshi, instead of letting it surprise, you need to let that firing surprise you. It needs to be a surprise every time. And
you know what the best practice for that in the world is that I found?
Yeah, let CW shoot for you.
I know you'll think it only worked for rifle, but when I started practicing with my crossbow, I felt myself jerking every time. Every time I'd shoot that crossbow, I would feel myself jerking exactly towards the boy. The recoil dip's what Pastor calls it. Good to see you out there, my brother.
A good way to get over that, Jamie, with your pistol is mix it up in your magazine and put a couple already fired shells in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're gonna see if you're doing recoil anticipation or not. The recoil dip. You're gonna see real quick. And just load your magazines and put it in at random and then lay them to the side, mix them up. So you don't know where which one's at. And then do that. And if you keep doing that and keep practicing, you'll get over that recoil anticipation. I still get it a little bit here and there,
Jamie, do you have a projected laser on your gun or for it? I'll send you one.
Wow.
You have Picatinny rail on your carry underneath?
One I do. Well, okay. On most of them I do, but the one I like the best I don't.
Well,
I'm practicing with the others. And something you said earlier, Hillbilly, about semi-autos versus revolvers or whatever. I've found I can shoot a metal frame hammer fired semi-autos better than I can shoot striker fire plastic guns.
Yeah, same deal. And I think for me, the difference between the revolver and a semi-automatic, especially a plastic gun, is you're not. I grew up shooting them, rifles and revolvers.
Right.
But you're never going to find any semi-automatic that feels the same in your hand as a revolver does. Yeah. So
there's the best thing you can do for shooting handgun is get involved with the bullseye league and start shooting.
Yeah. So I have a Fender guitar pick, and it's very similar to the reason when I played golf I used Pro V1s. I just shoot better scores. People ask me, said, are they longer? Are they softer around the greens? I'm like, I don't know, man. I just shoot better scores with a Pro V1. A Fender guitar pick sounds better than the others. What can I tell you? It's just me.
Well,
all right, what can we type in to go through the side chat?
Fender.
There you go. You gonna say something, Hillbilly?
I was going to say, filming yourself really makes a lot of difference. But I find out when I film myself, I look at the camera a lot more than I do my front side. So
watch that front side
for the camera, while I'm shooting. So it don't help me much.
Watch that front sight. That's what you got to watch.
One of our favorite guns to shoot, just for plinking, and one of the ones that has showed me so much whenever I film myself shooting it is that little Taurus TX22. It's nice and light. 22 is super cheap. You can blow through 500 rounds and not even blink about it. But I had the camera off to my left side, and I was watching my trigger finger and how sloppy it was. And that made me figure out, how to, kind of ride that reset and get better. And then every subsequent range trip after that, I tried to work on that and got much more accurate and got much smoother and faster. I'm not a competitive shooter, but I could definitely unload that magazine a whole lot quicker and put a lot more shots on target after watching that and kind of analyzing it.
I did almost the same thing, buddy. I had a Glock 44, which is 22, and I just put that projected laser on the bottom, and I could see that thing moving around, and I was able to help myself some, like you said, but I'm still not a, Gene or CW or whoever else by any means, but I can get on the target most of the time.
Well, let's go through the side chat. We got CWs on the panel and in the side chat. Same with Viejo. Same with Gene reloading from the hot pot. Same with Pat in a bunker. We got Abigail Finnegan, GGW Outdoors, Michael Dunn, Walks Fletcher, Tactical Fud. There's Dwayne 7834, Rollis Carvelis. Mark Thomas is on the panel and the side chat. Christian Gress, welcome, my brother. Bobby Barlow, 6-shooter Texan. Edward Petty, Andre D'Angelo, Corners and Doors, Defense Dad. Willie Moreno, I hope I said that right, Willie. Thanks for being here, brother. Welcome in. I hope you come back. Rich White, Wes Floridian, Ricky Baird, Bama Dad, Dwayne 7834, James Pollard, Justin Grimm, Tim S, Alaska 1 Andy, Nutty 357, Colt 1927, Lakeview Outdoors, Rollis Carvelis, Artac and Daughters, Bama Dad, Tactical Fud. Some of you guys are messing with me out there.
Imagine
that. TVC Facility and Fleet Safety Videos. Welcome in, buddy. First time I've seen you here. Hope you enjoy it. There's Tommy Boy, Dale Pogue, 01 guy, Michael Dunn. I know it, man. Just shoot from the hip. There's Defense Dad, 76 High Boy Reloading. Welcome in, buddy. Mr. Bob, Mike Hester, Daniel God is my judge, reloading from the hot pot again. And I think that's everybody. Is that ever? Hillbilly Ups in on the panel and the side chat. MCK says Gibson. He's a bluegrass guy from way back. Rich White. We're talking guitars now. Tackle Rabbit, you ain't right. So let's see. I think that's everybody, guys. Yeah, Gibsons are nice, no doubt. If you really want to go bluegrass, get yourself a Martin. OCD Outdoors is still here. Yeehaw! Chessboard. Uh, so I'm about to catch up. I caught up. I hope I got everybody. Now, Nutty 357, how far are you shooting from Georgia? I don't really know what that means, but I'm
How
on my
many?
gun shooting, I'm shooting around 12 to 15 yards. We have a 25-yard indoor range, and I run it out there a little bit more than halfway where there's a light. So I think it's important that I be able to see it. If I can't see it, I can't hit it.
You can start from 5 yards away, Jamie, and then and then gradually, like Nutty said, just gradually move it back. Start at 5 yards, and when you figure out what you're doing right, keep doing that. Just keep doing that.
We actually play that sometimes. You know how, like on basketball, you used to play around the world and through the world or whatever.
Yep.
We actually do that and start out close, and then you get one shot, and then you step a full step back, take another one, and then whoever gets the farthest back and still can stay in, not exactly the bullseye, but the main round around the bullseye, wins. So it's a fun deal because everybody's good up close.
What kills me is these people that are shooting at 3.5 yards and bragging about their target.
At the Sig Sauer Nationals last year, they had a Shoot Sig event, and I'm a Shoot Sig member, so I went up and shot it. And you started out, and it went from 5, 10, 15, 20, 25-yard targets. And you had to shoot them and they were all in a row, or all kind of angled off. And I actually had the second fastest time with the highest score at the event.
Nice.
So help me out here, Gene. Daniel says Nutty to Nutty 357. He's shooting 200 yards with 9mm.
Yeah, he's using his PCC.
Gotta be.
I can shoot 100 yards with a 9mm and hit the steel plates at the range. Not every time, but if I got 20 rounds, I can hit it 10, 12 times out of 20. It's not a silhouette size plate either. I think the biggest plate out there is 14 by 14, something like that.
That's a good one, Scotsman.
Oh, I about spit that up my nose when I saw that. That's hilarious. It burns. Oh,
So, Andy, what about you? How you feel about your handgun shooting? Are you happy with it? Do you?
Oh, I'm extremely happy with it. Okay. I mean, again, I go back where we weren't shooting silhouettes and stuff. We were shooting, 100-point targets. So you needed 10 bullseyes to get 100 points. And we were shooting 50 feet. You develop it. But one thing that I do now as I got older is I don't shoot that competition anymore. If you've ever noticed my videos where I put the targets out and they got that little black dot on them, that's a half-inch dot. If you move your sight, you're going to be off the black dot. If you're shooting at a 4-inch black, per se, ring that's out 20 feet, you don't have an exact aim point. You're drifting.
Right.
So if you take your regular targets that you're shooting at, that whatever the black section is, and you get yourself half-inch or 3/4 inch stick-on red dots, go buy them at Staples, and put it in the center. It gives you a point of aim. You're not estimating where you're pointing.
Yeah.
That's always been my thing. Even when I was back in the day, I wanted the bullseye targets. I used to say, "Can't I put a white dot in the center?" And nobody objected to it. The moment I did that, my points went way up. Because now you have an exact point of aim. So you could try that for yourself first, and just take white piece of paper and put a black dot on it.
We got a sighting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
There he is in 3, 2, 1.
Hey!
Mario.
That's
Oh,
Coach
Battle
Weirdo.
Bean himself.
Hey, Mario.
But to go further on that, I even doing that with my rifle targets. I got a big piece of white paper. I got 6 dots on it. So I aim at a dot, put 10 rounds at it, go to the next dot, try a different load, whatever. You will know if you're moving your gun. Gives you a tighter aim, a smaller aim point that you get more critical of where you're pointing the gun.
Well, that's that old saying: "Aim small, miss small."
Mm-hmm.
That's not a new thing at all, but something we all should work on.
I'm just saying, because your problem is you're shooting low, you say, so you're pushing the gun, okay, or pulling it down, one of the two. And if you put that one dot and you're aiming at that one dot, you may find that group rate got higher. In other words, you're shooting 3 inches low. Now you might be 1.5 inches low. Your aim point is more accurate instead of a guesstimate. You could be aiming 1 inch low and not realize it.
Yeah. And also something that I had learned, and actually it was my dad had told me he was shooting here not very long ago. I was always shooting high and left, and he had me told me to get a better grip on my pinky, on my support hand, pull it in tighter, and that helped me out a lot. And so I don't know how tight you're gripping that gun too, Jamie. So I noticed on mine some of it was grip.
Yeah. And Scotsman's helped me with my grip, and so is Gene. So,
well, that's why I asked you: are you shooting high, low, up and down, left and right? Because that's going to help determine how you're holding if you're holding the gun wrong. But you're saying you're shooting low. Are they a decent group at low, or are they still wide scattered?
well, that brings up another question. What is considered acceptable accuracy for handgun shooting?
Well,
Say we're shooting at 10 yards or 15 yards, and I'll try the 2x4 thing.
but I mean, if you were shooting and the targets, 100-point targets, and at 50 feet, all right, and your group, you've got to be at least in the 9 ring every time, or you're not even going to be in a scoring with anybody. You'll be way down on the list. So sight picture is very, very important, and your grip. If you're pulling left and right, or up, or pushing it, or lifting it, that you're throwing it way off. I mean, seriously, at 50 feet, you got to have a 1-inch group. You can ask CW about that. You want shooting a 300-point match, and you want to shoot 290 or above. That's what you got to do. So, I mean, I don't shoot like that anymore. I'm older. Okay, and arm strength. I used to sit with my arms out with like a dumbbell hanging and twist them, bring it up, bring it down. Don't let it go through your hands. So you get used to the weight in your arms. So there were a lot of things to do.
Jamie, I just text you a target. If you print this target out, this is something that's going to help you. It's going to actually help you see what you're doing wrong by where your bullet's hitting.
Yeah,
you better send that to me too, Gene.
I started when I first started shooting. I printed some of these out, and it corrected some of my problems just by paying attention, shooting slowly, deliberately, and paying attention to what I was doing.
I had some of those, and every time I shot it, it kept telling me, "Open your damn eyes."
I like the one that says, "Keep doing that. Keep doing that."
CW sent me one too, but I can't repeat what it says. Thanks, CW.
I was being nice about it. I seen a couple other ones, but I thought this one would be the best one.
So yeah, the Nutty saying
he sent it to me too. That's yeah, I seen that one.
That's a good one.
yeah, it is. Yeah, so at 25 yards, fist size group would be acceptable. I like that.
At 25 yards, a fist size group is exceptional.
I think
the average shooter cannot do that. Not 25 yards fist size group. That's
I used to could do that at 10, but 25 is a different story.
Well, we were really surprised. A group of us went together to get our CCW here, and you qualify from 7 yards. We're like, oh, wow. Okay, that's nice, because we most usually always shoot farther than that, and so none of us had any trouble qualifying at 7 yards, and so.
I've got a funny story about that. I went and that 357 I was showing you, Jamie, the other night.
Yes, sir.
81. I went and qualified. I was the only guy in the whole group out of 50 that went and qualified for CCW with a revolver. And when they started us off at 10, then 7, and then 5, and I had my full loads in, at 5 yards, I was literally blowing the paper target apart with the 357 back on the blast. And he goes, well, I don't know if you qualified or not, but in that close range, it was our sheriff that was actually qualifying us. And he goes, well, I'm sure if you didn't get the bad guy, he says, I'm sure he ain't happy. So, it's just funny CCW stories. So when I went to qualify. Yeah, that used to be my concealed carry.
Yeah, I've always been able to shoot rifles acceptably, and revolvers okay, but yeah, the semi-auto thing's always been a sticking point in my crawl. It just has. And
Yep.
I'm gonna tell you something else too. Y'all can say what you want to about Georgia Boy 44, but he can shoot my 586 better than I can. I'm just saying. I've seen him do it. At least as good, probably more better, more gooder, as Mario would say.
CW, you ever shoot 22 900-point matches?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Those are summertime. We shoot 1800s too.
Oh yeah, I never shot the 1800s. You're in a group of guys. I was okay. The shooting was 30 targets? I forgot how many. No, I forget how many targets it is.
Each national match course is 3 targets.
Right.
300 score.
Right. Okay. But so it's you're shooting 900-point targets, and there are guys that are shooting not 894. I mean, seriously. I mean,
I've shot an 873. I think was my top. The 900.
You know, so believe me, it's you want to. I mean, but you're not shooting a 357 either. So I mean, it's
Well, it's shooting 3-gun 900 outdoor 900 or 3-gun. So
Oh, okay. Yeah. No,
I generally shoot 22, 45, 45.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a crazy situation how people can shoot like that. I mean, it's amazing, and it just takes a lot of discipline. I mean, you got to have your most comfortable guns with you and know them well and be just very comfortable to shoot them. Again, when I used to work in the gun store and I was an instructor, we used to do a lot of cops used to come in to help to get for qualifying. And the biggest thing we saw all the time was them pushing the gun.
Mm.
Anticipation
is big.
And the one thing that I did to help people was they would shoot my pistol just to practice that situation, and I would load my 357 up with wad cutters, high level 38s, and hot 357s, and they didn't know what they were going to get when they pulled the trigger, and you'd be surprised how quick they learned not to push the gun.
Mm-hmm.
So that was something else, shooting different types of loads in your gun as to help you be distracted from what's about to happen because you don't know.
Snap caps are good too.
Yep.
I used to be fairly proficient with a smaller caliber 22s, 38, and in the last 2 years since I've gotten more involved in shooting the bigger calibers, 41, 44, 45, I'm spreading way out again, but it's just going to take more practice and more time. And I'm kind of looking forward to that.
And if you're shooting reloads, Jamie, your loads and the gun may not like each other either.
Yeah, I know.
So if you haven't found the most accurate load for what you're loading, that's another thing. So some of the inaccuracy can be from the load.
Yep. A lot of the Moldy Monday stuff you guys see me shoot, goes from, it could be anywhere from a 2-inch group to a 4-inch group out there. And, out of the same gun, but it's rounds that I've never cast and never loaded and never shot before. And some of them work, some of them don't.
Well, right now, as I'm working on getting to be a better pistol shot, what I'm seeing is my hand loads are shooting better than factory ammo that I'm using. Tighter groups, anyway.
More consistency on loading.
It's like, well, again, when I'm working up a load, I don't go, I'll pick a spot and I'll say, okay, I'm going to load by 0.1 grain up and 0.1 grain down, and I'll load 10 different loads, 5 of each, and go out there and just pull the lowest load, and see where it shoots, go to the next one, see where it shoots, just like CW. You use different loads, and boom, all of a sudden there's your node, boom. And then you keep going, and it opens up again, then to find the next node, okay? And so now you got 2 nodes, and now you go up and down from those nodes a little bit, and you could just adjust the length of the bullet by 1,000th deeper or 1,000th longer is going to change the accuracy all as well. So there's a lot of playing to find what that bullet's going to do best in your gun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and just getting back to it, just practice. I mean, it's a perishable skill, and for whatever reason, rifle or even shotgun versus pistol, that's always been my weakest point too, Jamie. I can shoot my 357 better than I can my semi-autos. I can be off 6 months not shooting that 357. I can pick that dang thing up, and that thing is a tack driver compared to skipping a month not practicing with my concealed carry. So it's one of those deals. If I just got to hit it every single month.
One thing about an auto is that not only does it come, your recoil isn't just up; it's to the side as well. So it's your revolver is more straight up unless you're pulling it with your fingers, that you're pulling it over. But a semi-auto is not just straight up; it's up and to the side.
Yep, agreed.
So I like shooting pistols 7 yards from the side of my barn. That way, it always makes me feel like a good shot.
Tommy Boy's got a comment there. He said a couple times to Jamie. I don't know if Jamie was answering him or not, but 6 o'clock hold is something that we do for bullseye shooting, and the biggest reason is it puts your black sights, because your sights on a bullseye pistol are all black. There's no white dots or green dots or glowworms or tritium sights or nothing like that. You can't use lasers. You can't use any of that stuff. Is because it puts those black sights on the white paper, and then you set the whole dot of your bullseye, the black center of your target, on top of your front sight, and you get a little sliver of white between the front sight and the target, and that's what your preference is, how much you put there, how much you leave there when you pull the trigger. And your bullets, your gun is sighted so the bullets fall in the center of the bullseye. So it's more it's a target hold more than a combat hold, because you're actually impacting above where your front sight is pointing. But that's the way you do it. That's the way it's set up. You're at a set distance on a set size target, like on a B2 and B3 bullseye target, which is rimfire. It's a 3-inch bull. And Andy had talked about, what you score. Well, if you keep all your bullets in the black on those targets, you're going to shoot about a 270 or better. If you're all in the fringe, if you hit the outside of that black every time, you're going to be about, I forget exactly what it totals, but it's about 270 out of 300. And that's just keeping them inside a 3-inch circle. Obviously, you're probably going to have some that are in the very middle, and those will score higher, and you'll have a higher score. But so a 6 o'clock hold will help you a lot see your sights and maintain a good sight picture, where if you're trying to hold them on black bullseye, you're gonna lose. You're gonna have a gap on one side bigger than the other, or you're gonna have your front sight higher, front sight low. You're not gonna know because everything's black.
Yep. Yeah, 6 o'clock hold. Yep. And again, if you're shooting that same target at 5 yards versus 20 yards, it's different. The gun has to be sighted for where you're at. I mean, if you're counting points, you're counting, a 9 ring or a 10 ring. That's the difference. It's an eighth of an inch difference between a 10 and a 9.
Yeah, when I was sighting in that green dot that Gene got Zulisi to send me, they say you got to sight it in at 25 yards, and that if you sight it in at 25 yards, it's closer at 5 and at 10 than if you sighted it in at 10 or at 5 and on the other ranges. So, yeah, I get it. All right, so we're past time to do our. Are you ready, Gene?
Oh, yeah.
See if I can do this. Are y'all ready?
I'm ready.
It's time for White's Hot Pot Got. I know we need a theme song.
Do do do
Dun-dun-dun.
do do do.
You know what I'm talking about.
We'll get some Elvis Vegas intro going on.
Yep,
How about that?
Exactly.
Tonight, everybody. I don't know if I showed this before or not. Maybe I showed something similar to it. Maybe not this exact one. But tonight, I have a 257 Weatherby Magnum. Really cool looking case. Nice bottleneck belted cartridge. I think I showed maybe a 357 Weatherby Mag one time, but this is the 257. So if I'm wrong, well, you get to see it again. If I'm not, well, here's the first time for you and me both on this one. The 257 Weatherby Magnum is a 257 caliber, 6.53 millimeter belted bottleneck cartridge. It is one of the original standard length magnums developed by shortening the 375 H&H Magnum. Case approximately 2.5 inches. One of the cartridges developed by Roy Weatherby. The 257 Weatherby Magnum was known to be his favorite of all the cartridges that he developed. And it currently ranks third in Weatherby cartridge sales after the 30.378 Weatherby Magnum and the 300 Weatherby Magnum. What's really cool about this cartridge, it's designed in 1944 and it's produced 1948 to present day. The SAMI pressure on this is 80,000 PSI, which is incredible. It's that's pretty much maximum for SAMI specs here. Bullet mass weight goes from 87 to 100 to 117 to 120 grain projectiles. Isn't that cool?
The Weatherby
That's very
cartridges
awesome.
have a different angle to the bottleneck. You see that? How much flatter it is?
The original ones, yep. They were called a double radius.
Mm-hmm.
How fast did you say they were going?
The fastest is the 87 grain. That's 28.26.
It's going faster than that.
That's energy. The velocity is 38.25.
Yeah. That's more like
38.25. That is cooking. That's a little projectile with a lot of boom, boom, bang, magic fairy dust bang pushing it behind.
I've got a story behind that very cartridge once Gene gets done.
Well, That's what Hot Pot's got tonight.
Thanks, Gene. You have any inside industry news?
No, I do not. Nothing new except we're doing the White River large rifle primers, and we've got some of the small pistol left. Got quite a few of the large rifles to go out the door still. Other than that, powder prices are still going up, even on the wholesale level. Crazy. Other than that, man, if there's something you want and you don't see it on the website, call Republic Ammunition and we will take care of you. If we've got it, we'll get it out to you. Just because it's not on the website does not mean we don't have a bucket of it sitting in the back.
Yeah, I've been on there looking, and everything, almost everything I was interested in said out of stock.
Jamie just text me, let me know, and we've probably got a bucket of it. We might have a barrel of it. It's just, there's only 4 of us that work there, and it's I stay busy all day, man. I go from one end of the shop to the other, unloading trucks to sorting brass. So if you don't if you want, like somebody wanted an 8mm Mauser.
Me?
Well, it's not even on the website, is it?
Yeah. But it said out of stock.
Oh, no, we got a bucket of it. Just text me. Let me know what you want, brother. I'll take care of you.
All right. I'll pay for it and you can bring it soon. I'll meet you halfway. So, it's going to be a lot more expensive than shipping, ain't it?
Not as much
but we
fun,
can
though.
break some bread while we're at it too, so that's good.
Yeah. There you go. All right, so where we're at and what are we doing? Anybody else got any?
I was just going to do a little tie-in with that 257 Magnum. Back when we were kids, 14, 16 years old, we've got some prairie dog towns around here, and the farmers were always looking to get rid of them. And my friend, him and his dad both had 257 Weatherby Magnums, and I'd always bring down the 22-250, and we'd go into competition mode on farthest shots on prairie dogs. And man, we always had a blast. And I got to shoot that 257 several times, and we just hand off rifles back and forth. And man, I had more fun behind that 257 and that 22-250 taking out prairie dogs and stuff at 300, 400, 500 yards easy, because they'd been shot at so many times that you couldn't get within 300 yards with them ducking in. So always had a blast shooting that 257. It was always fun and accurate. Whew, man, those Weatherbees, good rifle.
All right, guys, I'm going to bail out. Everybody have a great night.
Good night,
Thanks
Andy.
for being here, Andy. Enjoy your weekend, buddy.
Good night,
Night,
Andy.
Good night.
Have a good one.
Tread said I should have showed a 223 round. I guess I could have pulled out a 223, but everybody knows about that one. I mean, I can show common cartridges. We can talk about 9mm and 40 Smith & Wesson and 223 and 5.56, and I mean, I can show those and give a little bit of history behind them if people do not know about them.
How far distant is that from 257 Roberts? I've heard of that, but I've never had any, never seen any, never shot any.
257 Roberts is a 757 case. It's 57mm long. It's got probably 2/3 the powder capacity of the Weatherby Magnum. It's probably 500 plus feet per second behind it. So quite a bit. Plus it's older. The original loadings were pretty light. If you remember seeing 257 Roberts as a plus P variant because it was so old that it was loaded down. Plus P 257 Roberts brings it up near 2506, right on the heels of 2506.
I've just always ever heard about it, but never knew anything about it.
Yeah, it's well, our neck of the woods. It's not so popular. It's a dandy for out west where things are flat and long. Mule deer and antelope.
Right there. 257 Roberts.
Cool.
Same diameter bullet, same exact bullets, projectiles.
Gene's just got a little bit of everything there.
You know what? I got so much of it I get lost on because before we started the little feature of what I've got, I was just throwing them back in. So I get a little lost on what I've shown so far on a couple of the things.
Need to have you 2 jars, Gene.
I got two containers.
One that you haven't.
I got 2 containers now. And now it's working out now.
There you go.
Come on, man. Come on. There he is.
There he is. Wise.
What's happening, brother?
Chico, what's up, buddy?
How did you go? Can you hear us?
Give me a
Hey,
second
Chico. There you go.
to it catch up. How y'all doing?
Gotcha.
Hey, man. Welcome.
Doing good.
Buddy.
I'm probably lagging.
Good to see you.
Seeing y'all.
Carter on the iPad.
And the phone. And the computer.
So, Chico, I sent you an email earlier this week. Give me a call when you can. We'll talk about it.
I'm gonna come right back.
Okay.
Gonna go move some Carter around. I'll bet.
Yeah. Put him on just the laptop.
Probably. Unplug.
Hasbro's comment out there about he wouldn't get a paycheck. Let me tell you what, I owe my boss money, okay? But because I show up every day, I don't have to get, he lets me slide, I take something out, it's like, I'm taking this, can you put it on my tab? I'll pay you next week for it.
Right.
So, Chico, catch us up on life, brother. How's the world been treating you?
It's been all right, man. Just been big. I had to cut off my camera because my device flag. So, plus, that come from teenagers on the device at the same time.
Well, ask him, Dave. Chico, you see Thorzak's comment in the side chat.
I'm about to pull it up. I'm pulling it up now because when I tried to watch it with another tab, that's when I started having the buffering issues. Hey, everyone in the side chat. I'm looking for his comment. I didn't see it. Good to see you. Good to see everybody, man.
There's that. What's going on? AOK Foraging and Adventures.
Wow. That's a blast from the past.
Gene, some things you don't say to a lady. I mean,
Well, they're fine ladies. They understand what I'm saying. It's been a long time.
Yeah, but that's insinuating she's old, and she's not any older than we are. Probably younger than we are. I mean, golly, who's not? Except Walter.
Yeah. Tell me about
it. Problem is, Walter's in better shape than we are.
It's that hard seltzer.
Not the years, right, Walter?
That's because he's lived a life of filth, floor, and filth. Keeps him young.
I won't disagree with any of those comments.
Don't do that. She sits there and tells how old she is. I can't help you. I can't help you. Great to see y'all all out there. Wow, we got a good crowd still. Anybody else got anything to say about pistol shooting? That's been our topic tonight, Chico. We've been talking about how to help me be a better pistol shot.
You're not the only
A lot
one.
of dry
Jamie.
fire. A lot of dry fire helps.
That's what
Words out of my mouth. Jamie, dry fire, practice, trigger control, grip, dry fire.
Dry fire, yeah.
Essential. It's cheap. Pull that trigger,
Very
keep it back,
cost-effective.
rack the slide, put it back up, let the release, pull it again. Feel where your reset's at. Because otherwise, you know what we call that? We call that monkey slapping.
I hear you. And that's what I'm trying to do everything I know to do and everything I've learned in marksmanship skills and all that kind of stuff. And it still feels like a monkey slapping a trigger, you know.
Could it be from the single action or the single action revolvers? Could that be where that's coming into your muscle memory?
I don't know, but monkey slapping means something a little different around here.
Yeah. That was
Well,
glad
good
you
thing
said
we
it,
ain't
not me.
Yeah.
Of course, it means something different in my household too, but that's beside the point.
That's a good idea, garage guy. Shoot a bunch of 22s. I got some 22s. Oh, come on, Mike. The rebel strike.
Now he's under indictment now, man. I wouldn't know if I trust him or not.
I don't think you want that armor either.
That was good, Rebel.
Good one, Rebel.
Did you see where they said someone is involved in the situation said that they could tell that there was a live round because of the color of the primer. That dummy rounds only had brass primers.
Come on, Colt. That's a little mean spirited. It ain't like I can't shoot. I just want to shoot better with handguns. And that's the reason I asked earlier what is acceptable accuracy, because part of it goes through your mind. Are you just being too hard on yourself, or are you expecting too much?
No, I don't think so.
No, well, it's one of those things. You go back into accuracy and everything. You always want to be better, especially where we're shooting for defense, especially with a pistol, especially whether you're carrying on your hip or concealed or anything. Because man, when you get down to a pistol, and if you're in a crowd or something, or like in a grocery store or convenience store or something like that, man, you want to make sure that bullet is true, especially if you got to defend your life or your family's life. You want to make sure that thing is going to its target. And I think that's why we're all hard on ourselves especially when it comes to pistols. It's because, man, you want to make sure that thing's going straight to its target, because, and I know everybody's heard this millions of times, that each time a bullet comes out of that pistol or that rifle in a defense situation, it's got a lawyer attached to it. So I think that's why we're always so hard on ourselves. Because man, we just want to make sure we're hitting our targets. At least that's what's always going through the back of my brain.
In fact, that's a thing too. Gene's trying to teach me to shoot with both eyes open, and I can't make myself do it.
You have to.
I can't unless I'm using a red dot.
I shoot both eyes open with iron sights. The only time I close one eye is if I'm shooting distance with a rifle through a scope. That's the only time I close one eye.
Yeah, I feel you.
It's both eyes open for everything.
Yeah.
I got a question for the guys in the side chat. For those of you who do shoot handguns like we're talking about here, who would say that they shoot more with an optic or more with the iron sights? With me, it's definitely more with the iron sights. The only optics I really shoot are on my 22s.
Definitely more with an optic.
Iron sights here.
Iron sights. I only have one pistol that's optics ready.
I'm 60-40, optics being 60. I still shoot
Most
a
of
lot
what I
iron
see
sights.
at the range where I have been shooting lately is about 50-50, seems to me like. You know, nobody with revolvers shoots optics there, but most guys with semis, I would say, are an optic.
What about you, Mark? I know you've got that one revolver that's got an optic on it.
Yeah, I bought that Taurus 357 with the Toro optics mount, and I've been trying. To shoot it. I still can't get used to it. It just doesn't seem to fit. It's too high, and I'm going to keep trying. You know, that's why I bought it. I'm going to leave it on there and keep shooting it, but it just doesn't seem to fit. A revolver just needs iron sights, and that's what I've shot all my life. The dagger that we built, that we put the red dot on, that's been a little bit better. I still search for it though. I can do 100 draw and present, and I can get it, but then the next time I try to draw it out, I can't find it. And I'm also, with my old eyes, having issues with that red dot. I need to try one of those green dots like you got, Jamie, and see if it shows up a little bit better for me. So I'm trying real hard to adapt with the times.
Well, and here, Mark, here's how I learned to shoot with a red dot. I was given some really good instruction from an A-class shooter. He said, instead of bringing it up and then trying to find the dot by going down, because naturally when you present a pistol, you're going to aim a little bit high.
Mm-hmm.
And then you try to go down. With a dot, bring it in low and bring it up to you. Instead of bringing it high and then trying to find it, bring it up to you, and never go side to side. I see so many people at the range doing this, trying to find their dot. It's like, stop. Bring it up.
Hurt somebody.
Yeah. Bring it up
to
you instead of trying to bring it down and find.
Okay,
And,
so let me
it's
throw
helped,
a little
it's helped me a lot.
Let me throw a little caveat on that, Dean.
Sure.
When trying to learn a red dot, would you recommend going from a low ready position where your gun barrel is already kind of down to up to practice acquiring that red dot sight versus trying to draw from ready, going from holstered or any other position, try to start low ready bring it up like that versus and then work on your draw later?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Work on
Okay, because
like you're shooting a steel challenge where you're starting low ready and then bring it up to you. If you start with it high and then you try to find it, you're going to dip it low again. And then you're going to start going side to side because you think you lost it. And now you're just standing here doing this in front of the target, wondering where it's at. So start at low ready and bring it up to you until you see it, and then continue to do that. And then, like you said, then progress onto your draw.
Well, I do know for
go ahead.
me, the different optics makes a big difference. I mean, there's some optics that I can't get picture right off the bat, and there's some that's there every time. I mean, on the money. And so I believe that your actual dot makes a lot of difference. At least it does for me. I mean, I've had some that I have trouble with and some that I don't even a second thought. They come in every time. So
then you want to square that down to which optic and which pistol. Because if you're using one specific pistol and you're acquiring that dot the same every time, there's your go-to. But yeah, the optic does have a big difference. The size of the window, the clarity of the optic. Is it green? Is it red? Is it a 2.5 MOA? Is it a 6 MOA?
Yeah.
You know?
And I'm not really, to be honest with you, I've not really seen when I'm saying that about the different dots, optics and stuff, reflexes and stuff. Not always price has anything to do with it. I'm not saying a $300 dot is going to be way better than a $60 dot, because I found stuff go both ways regardless of the price. It's just kind of like what fits you and what fits the gun is what really seems to make a difference for me personally.
Well, I found those Zulisi optics, ever since they've contacted me and I've been dealing with them. I'm sold on them, and they're not an expensive dot. CB Life makes some good dots. They don't make anything in green, but they make some nice red ones. Bushnell's got some nice stuff. What's that other company?
Sealy?
No, Sealy. Then let me get. What's the one that begins with V?
Bushnell?
I forget.
Vector?
Well, Vector Optics also makes Viridian.
Viridian.
Yeah, Vector Optics makes Viridian optics.
Not Barska. I don't know if they even make a dot.
I know which one you're talking about, Gene. I just can't remember it off the top of my head.
It's Viridian.
Dang it.
Viridian Optics.
Okay.
That's part of Vector Optics subline.
Okay. Yeah, I guess my biggest problem, my sister about, a year ago, when they finally got or maybe it was 2 years ago, when they got the constitutional carry down there in Texas. She had bought a couple guns and one with a reflex and everything. She goes, I want you to teach me how to shoot a pistol well and fast. And I said, I'll just see what you got when you come up. And she had a reflex sight on a FIG. And honestly, I had to play with it for a little bit and dry fire it and figure out exactly where I had to come up for the best draw and do that. I probably messed around with it for an hour at least, trying to figure out on that reflex. And like you said, instead of trying to do that gooseneck coming up from the top and coming back down, that's what I call it. I call it doing the gooseneck.
Mm-hmm. That's a good way.
And starting at low ready and just coming straight up was way easier to acquire. On just about every single red dot that I've ever shot. I've shot it, not a ton, but I've got a lot of buddies with red dots on rifles, on pistols, and stuff like that. And I don't know, that seems to always be the best ways at low ready to start off with, to be able to pick up that sight a lot quicker.
Do you mind if I address GGW's question there, Jamie?
Go ahead, man.
I think that all depends on the shooter, the size of the dot. And I don't know, I was going to ask him this, are you talking about the size of the glass or the size of the actual dot? Like your three MOA, it's going to be smaller. It's not going to cover your target completely as like a 6 MOA or whatever. So myself personally, I like the smaller dot, so like if you're aiming the bullseye instead of your dot completely covering the bullseye, you have a smaller dot to aim inside the bullseye. So personally, I like the smaller actual size of the dots, but I like the bigger glass. I mean,
well, now there's a compromise here, Hillbilly.
mm-hmm.
If you take a 6 MOA, you don't have to turn the brightness up as high.
Yeah,
which actually makes it appear to be a 3 MOA.
Yeah.
Now I like a 3 to 5. I like in that range. A 6 is like gets a little bit too big for me, but then you don't have to turn it up as bright.
Mm-hmm.
So that so it's kind of it's an optical delusion sometimes. I think.
Right.
But if you find most green dots out there are the average is 5 MOA because you don't have to turn them up as high. So it makes it appear to be a 3 to 4. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That optical delusion stuff.
I pick my dots as for use. If I'm shooting fast, larger targets, I want a bigger dot. If I'm shooting bullseye, more precise, I want small. If I had to pick one dot for everything, I'd lean towards a smaller dot just because it's what I use more.
You can also get multi reticles now too, where you can change between them, and you can have that 2 MOA center dot. And then you can add a ring or 2 rings around it, or crosshairs even.
All my bullseye stuff has 1 or 2 MOA, and my combat stuff is 6, 8. Big dots.
Yeah.
Kind of like somebody
the size of a head out there.
Yeah, like somebody mentioned big dot sights before on the side chat, and they're a totally different animal from regular iron sights. They're much faster. They've got a very deep, shallow V rear sight and a big dot in the front, and you just plaster that over whatever you want to hit and squeeze the trigger, and that's how they're designed to be used. And kind of like a red dot or a optical dot, you plaster that dot over whatever you want the bullet to hit, and that's where the bullet goes. So if you're shooting at a popper that's 6 inches wide and 18 inches tall, a 6-inch dot, 6 MOA dot, an 8 MOA dot at 15 or 30 feet, you're fine. You don't need precise bullet placement. You just need to hit that steel that's 8 inches wide, 10 inches wide, or 6 inches wide, and you need to do it quickly. So you need to find that dot quickly. So the bigger dot is beneficial there. But if you're trying to hit a 2-inch dot at 100 yards, well, you're not going to do it with a 6 MOA reflex.
Yeah.
At least not easily.
Yeah. Kind of the difference between a beach ball and a golf ball or whatever.
That's what I was going to say, Hillbilly.
Yeah.
Okay, I think it's time for our verse of the week. And I'm really, really, really happy Chico came in this
Good, man. Good to see him.
Okay. Last week we had Matthew chapter 5, verse 29. And of course, this is going to be verse 30, and it's basically the same thing. So, verse of the week will probably be fairly quick tonight. Verse 29 says, "If your right eye causes you to sin, pluck it out and cast it from you, for it is more profitable for you that one of your members perish than for your whole body to be cast into hell." And verse 30 says basically the same thing, except for your hand. "If your right hand causes you to sin, cut it off and cast it from you, for it is more profitable for you that one of your members perish than for your whole body to be cast into hell." So basically, what we're seeing here is Jesus is continuing to build on the true meaning of the law and the Ten Commandments, if you will. And here he's just expanding on verse 29. And one thing I've found in my Bible studies, if Jesus says it more than once, you probably need to listen to it closer. Um,
Closely.
More closely. So Jesus simply stressed the point that one must be willing to sacrifice to be obedient. If part of our life is given over to sin, we must be convinced that it is more profitable for that part of our life to die rather than condemn our whole bodies. And this is the one thing many are unwilling to do, and that is why they remain trapped in sin or never come to Jesus. They never get beyond a vague wish to be better. Man, that hits me right with a 2x4 right between the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we start going to church, we start trying to live better, and we want to be obedient to Jesus because we know that's what we need to do. But at the same time, there's one little part of our life that we want to hold on to. And if you do your Bible studies, you'll find that that is the one thing Jesus wants you to give up to Him. Because if you look, the parable of the rich young ruler, well, the story of the rich young ruler, Jesus tells him to sell everything and come follow me. That was because that was the thing that was separating him from Jesus. Not that we shouldn't be well off, that we shouldn't have money and nice things. That's not the point. The point is anything that comes between you and Jesus is a stumbling block, and it becomes an idol, and it's separating you from being totally obedient to a holy and just God.
And I think the word here is not to be taken literally, necessarily. I don't think Jesus wants any of us to just go cutting off our hand. I think what this is all about is learning to be introspective and how to soul search and figure out what it is about your life that is not working, and get rid of that part. You don't have to give up life altogether. You don't have to make a 100% turnaround. That's usually not necessary. If you can get in, dig down deep, find out what it is. Maybe it's one set of people you're hanging out with, or maybe it's one kind of food or alcohol or something that you're drinking too much, and maybe that's what's causing a problem. Figure out a way to get rid of that piece of it and take it one step at a time, and see if that doesn't, if that's, it's like Dave over here in the side chat, telling me, Walt, don't lemon squeeze. I see you do it all the time. I go, yeah, and I'm out at the range and I hear Dave on my shoulder standing there, don't you lemon squeeze that grip welder, give that part of it up and you'll shoot better, find out what's wrong with your life, and if you got to get outside help to help you do that, then go do that, find out what it is that's going wrong and get some help to get it corrected if you need to, but take that one piece away and see if that doesn't make things, straighten up a little bit better for you. Then maybe there's something else you can find after that. And, yeah, cut out the riffraff out of your life, I guess. That's what it's saying. You'll do better.
Well, and I'll kind of springboard off of what Viejo said, and I'll tie it right back into the gun chat that we've had all night long. Uh, it's practice. Just working at being a better person. You know, clear in the back of your mind, you know what's wrong. It's just the willingness and the practice to do it. That's all I got to say on that one.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I got something if nobody else is going to go.
Go.
I honestly think that that Jesus don't mean it literally that we poke out our eye or cut off our hand. We have talked about that last week and this week. But something I've been thinking about since last week, kind of a little bit of perspective, is sometimes I think the reason the words are like this is because we are simple people, and stuff like that. And if you actually thought about it, if you had to poke out an eye or cut off a hand, you only got two eyes, you only got two hands. So also, I think there's a little bit of a saying there that if you did sin and you had to poke out an eye or cut off a hand, you only got one left. So you better make those choices really wise, because I think it means, like, I think he's trying to tell us it is very important, not to sin, and make it to heaven than the alternative. Same thing as if we were to lose an eye or a hand or both of them. And so, I don't think it means literally, but if you think about it as literal sense, you do it once, it's important that you better not do it again, because you only got one of those left, Did that make any sense?
Yeah, learn from the mistake. Learn from the mistake. We're all human beings. We're all sinners. We all mess up. We all screw up. Learn from it. If you don't learn from it, then yeah, you might be left with nothing at the end of the day. That's kind of my second takeaway on it.
Okay, not to cut God's word short or nothing like that, but I think it's time for us to start going through the side chat here and through the panel, and clear the deck for the chicken guy. Gives it Gary.
Good cry foul.
I thought it was a lizard guy.
Oh, the lizard Larry? Yeah.
Lizard Larry.
There's Bulldog. He missed verse of the week. Or did you? This is a weird time to join the chat.
Right.
Well, if you want, Jamie, I'll start us off.
Okay, thank you.
Been a great evening. Wonderful time together. Been looking forward to it all week. Just love hanging out with you fellas, and the side chat just been moving along so quick, hard to keep up. As far as what's coming up, I do have a couple more projects that I'm working on in the garage. We'll try to make a few videos if we can, and I would really love to get out to the range. Been itching to get out there and shoot that new 357 hollow point mold. I want to shoot that so bad, and been loading up or been casting for some 45 Colt. Got that new revolver and haven't really been able to put but a couple of dozen rounds through it. So what we get done, we'll try to film, try to bring to you. I think tomorrow and Sunday we're gonna have decent enough weather take my son to the airsoft field. I might even play tomorrow. And if I can, I'll try to film some and maybe bring that to you. It's always a good time. So just thanks for having me. Been a pleasure. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Thank you.
Thanks for being here, buddy. I appreciate you more than you'll ever know.
Thanks for having me.
Chico, can you talk or you buffering too bad?
You with us, Chico? You're muted if you are.
He's buffering really bad,
Yeah.
so he may not be able to talk. It's just so good to have him back on here with us.
You said it.
So go ahead, Pat in the bunker. Anything you got?
Well, I got new building coming in here in just hopefully the next 2 weeks. Hopefully, I will get out and be able to shoot my concealed carry again this week. I usually have it marked on my calendar to get out there and do that, so I need to get out there and do that. I've done it the last 3 months, so I need to stay proficient on it. Want to go do a little bit more coyote hunting. It's that right time of year. I've been running some Mead 77 grain boat tail hollow point match stuff in it, and it has been working great in that gun in my Smith & Wesson AR Sport 2. Great gun. I've hit just about everything that I aim with it. But other than that, yeah, just busy, and hopefully I get a couple more videos out. Got a couple more on the back burner that I need to get filmed, and Gene knows that. So he knows what I'm talking about with red.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, that's all I got on the VA.
Looks like Chico might be unmuted. Are you with us, Chico? Can't hear you if you are. Okay. I was going to yield to Chico Wise if he could talk. Well,
Can y'all hear me?
just like oh, there you go. I'll shut up.
It's buffering, man. Yeah, I didn't think I was gonna be able to do an intro, but man, thanks for having me. You guys know in the side chat, I try to get on here when I can, but you know, life how that works for us, or at least for me anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But I appreciate everybody being here and seeing everybody, man. I'm planning to get on more of these often if I can.
We miss you, man.
You bet.
I know, man. I miss y'all too, brother. For real.
So thanks for dropping in, Chico. We really miss you, and I did send you an email, and I hope you can give me a call sometime this week. So
Will do.
Appreciate you, man. So go ahead, Walter.
Well, yeah, just like everybody else, I really appreciate the invitation to be here every Friday night. It's really is a highlight of my week. I look forward to it all week long, and in particular, the last few months when we've added these two pieces to the chat, I think that has just breathed new life into it, and I appreciate those folks that are streaming into us, like Hillbilly and Gene and everybody. That's getting the word out to more and more folks, and the numbers that we're having are just great. You guys over there in the side chat, we really appreciate you being here. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for you guys over there. So that's really thrilling. As far as my own stuff going, I had a couple videos out this week. That one that I just put out yesterday on the new expander die that Lee's putting out, the new M die. That thing got a lot of traction, man. I had over 1,000 views in the first 24 hours on that sucker. So I'll be doing a follow-up on that at some point. And I ordered a couple of those pieces. We'll see what happens. And the last Moldy Monday, number 52, done one every week for a year. That's coming up this coming Monday. So we're gonna bring that one to a close. I will be doing more casting, loading, and shooting videos. I got half a dozen new moles to do just this week. I'm just not sure what the format is going to be. If you remember, one time I did an extensive series on the 45 ACP Hensley and Gibbs number 68 style bullets, and we had a half a dozen of those. Well, I'm going to do another one with 225 to 230 grain round nose cast lead bullets for 45 ACP. So we're getting started working on those. So that's kind of what we got going on here at the Viejo bench. I'm glad you all stopped by to see us here, and that'll do it for me. So let's talk about Mr. Hot Pot, his own self.
Thanks, Walter. Oh, man, everybody in the side chat, thanks for joining us tonight. It's a great panel as always. Highlight of my week is Friday nights. I love being here. I love interacting, and I love learning because, man, I love schooling. I just really do. I wish everybody a nice, blessed weekend. Be good to yourselves. Be good to others. And just take care. That's all I got.
Thanks for being here, Gene. We appreciate you. You too, Walter and Pat. Mr. Hillbilly.
He's doing a hillbilly again.
We can't hear you, Hillbilly.
Anyway, I said, I hope Dwayne's still out there on the side chat. He sent me this hat, and I love it. Ain't that beautiful?
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate that, buddy.
That's beautiful.
America. And anyway, thanks so much, guys, for having me on. I appreciate you. I always enjoy this so much. What I got coming on this weekend is Saturday night. We got Guns, Beer, and Therapy, 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern. And this Saturday, tomorrow night, we're having a big 1776 giveaway. So there's going to be some really cool patches and stuff given away, like this one right here. And anyway, and then also we're having a special guest, and it's going to be Blackbeard fire starters. So they're going to be on tomorrow night, and they're going to be giving some stuff away. So we're going to have a blast. And so try to make it if you can. Appreciate you, y'all. Oh, man, I need that hat there. I love it, Walter.
I gotta stop the chat. Viejo, can you please put that hat back on and say "R"?
Arr, Mayday! Steel!
That was so good.
Perfect.
Walter's been role playing again with his ladies. So, CW, what you got coming up, buddy?
I'm trying to continue my video a day I've had going on here for a couple weeks. So I got more videos in the queue out to end of next week. So we'll see how everybody likes those. I did a little bit different one today that is going to show up, I think, I don't know if it's Saturday or Friday of next week. A little different. See how that goes. I've got some more range time planned. I've got a couple more ideas for a couple more videos. So I got a lot of stuff in the fire, a lot of irons in the fire. I'll try and do some casting tomorrow. I haven't been able to get out there at all because it's been so darn cold. I cast in the garage so I can open the front and back doors and get a good airflow, but it's all insulated in there. So early in the season, it's nice because it stays warm, but later in the season, it also stays really cold. So it's like a double-edged sword. So this time of year, January, February, it's if it's been cold, it's really hard for me to get out there and cast. And you guys know that's a big part of who I am. So it's hard not to get out there. But I got a new mold the other day sent in to me by a friend of mine on a forum. So I appreciate that. And I've got a couple of good friends that keep calling and suggesting they might be getting low on some bullets. So I got to get those out for them. And just wanted to also thank everybody in the side chat. I saw an 82, I think. I know I saw an 81, and that's incredible. That is awesome. And as everybody said, you guys are just awesome. You're the reason we're here, and I really love to see it. And everybody on the panel, of course, all my brothers, great to see all you guys here. And everybody has talked about their shows coming up, and one that we didn't talk at all about, and I'm surprised Hasbro didn't mention it, but he's got a 2,000 episode or 2,000 subscriber show tomorrow night. I think it's 8:00, but I don't know if it's Central Standard or Eastern time. I think it's just before Hillbilly way.
Put in the side chat. It is 8:00 Eastern time.
Okay.
Yeah,
only
8:00
time that.
Eastern. And I'm linking it in the side chat. I forgot to say something, but congratulations on hitting that 2K, buddy.
Yeah. For Hasbro hit 2,000, and that's really great to see. So get over and check him out before you get over to have some seltzer with always great, always a good time. Jamie, what's going on?
I got a video in editing. I got another one that I'm working on, starting to do the work on. And one I'm halfway through filming. And, so hopefully in the next week I'll have a couple, 3 more videos out. But put one up yesterday morning. Was that right? I know.
Yeah.
So if you get a chance, go watch that one. And I've been able to do about one a week for the last couple of weeks anyway. It's great to see Chico out here. Great to have him on with us again. And guys, y'all are continually overwhelming us with the support. We appreciate y'all very much. We hope the Lord blesses y'all all real good. And if he's willing, we'll see y'all next Friday night at 8:00.